One is Israeli only, and one is a Palestinian only road.
Palestinian only road, apartheid. So for those that don't know, it's not an apartheid, it is. Welcome to another episode of the Olive Roots podcast. I'm your host, Chosi Ayub. Today I want you to learn something new. It's about this community that is the last Samaritans of Palestine. I found this video titled Inside a Vanishing Ancient Community, and I thought I'll share it with you. In the meantime, please make sure you subscribe, hype, comment, contribute, and also, as usual, grab your popcorn. Here we go. This is a community that you will not hear about on the news. These are the Samaritans of Palestine. Well, you know, they're disappearing because of Israel. Just like the Christian community is disappearing because of Israel. They make every community disappear, those people. These Zionists.
ما بظن في حلقات.
This is Aboud. He lives in the West Bank, a region of the Holy Land at the center of the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Yeah, West Bank, that's what they call it. It's Palestine.
Despite his Arabic first name, Aboud is not Palestinian. And although his surname Cohen comes from the Hebrew for priest, nor is he Jewish. Aboud Cohen is a Samaritan.
He's a Samaritan.
Possibly one of the last of the Samaritans. With such a small population, the tribe must find a way to increase their numbers if they are to survive the next 100 years, let alone 3,000. My name is Leon McCarran, and I'm a bit of an explorer. For the last decade, I've been travelling around the world, slowly, often on foot. Here, in the heart of the Middle East, the Holy Land is one of the most complex places on earth.
You know, you saw all the olive trees? Guess what Ashkenazi Jews are allergic to? Olive trees, because they're indigenous to the land.
But it is also one of the most fascinating.
Behind me in the haze is the city of Nablus and the mountain of Gerizim.
Nablus, a place that Israel keeps stealing today, stealing the land. Man, the Zionists are so evil, you have no clue, man.
A few years ago, I was walking through this region and I heard the story of the ancient Israelite Samaritans living on top of that mountain.
Many of us will know the name Samaritan from the Good Samaritan, the well-known Christian parable, the man who helped out a person who was in difficulties. But today, Samaritans are facing extreme difficulties themselves, a population crisis. Once, there was over 1 million of them, but today, there's barely 800.
Barely 800. It's kind of like barely 800 Christians left in Gaza because of Israel and the occupation.
This ancient tribe has had to resort to the most modern of methods to stave off disaster. The internet, women brought in from Eastern Europe, and a lifting of the ancient prohibition on outsiders and intermarriage.
From Eastern Europe. Interesting.
These laws date back before Islam, before Christianity, before Judaism. As this tribe, the Israelite Samaritans, claim to be the oldest religion in the world.
The real Jews.
They consider themselves the guardians of the Torah, the first 5 books of the Old Testament.
No Talmud, no BS.
Preserving what they see as the true Israelite traditions. They do not call themselves the Samaritans. They are the Shamranim, or the keepers.
Shomer in modern Hebrew means guard. You know, there's another group called Neturei Karta, Aramaic for guardians of the city. And they're against Zionism as well.
The most holy and sacred place in the Samaritan faith is here, Mount Gerizim. Samaritans believe that Adam and Eve were expelled here from the Garden of Eden. Some believe it was from here that Noah's Ark escaped the floods. And this unassuming spot on the mountainside, perhaps the most significant in the Samaritan faith, is where Abraham came to sacrifice his son Isaac to God.
I've come here to the top of Mount Gerizim, and it's a really spectacular place. There's the odd burst of gunfire, so you remember exactly where you are in the world. Down below is the Palestinian city of Nablus, and you can probably hear the kind of hustle and bustle. We also have the valley here with the Jordan River running through it, and on the far side, the mountains of the country of Jordan and the city of Amman. We've got Jerusalem and Ramallah this way. The Mediterranean Ocean and Tel Aviv is just about visible on the horizon. And then there's the Samaritan town or village itself of Kiryat Luza just below us. Benny!
Hello, Leon.
Benny Sadaka is the leading scholar on Samaritan history and has written over 100 books on the faith.
This is, of course, Mount Gerizim, our holy mountain, and it is written in the Torah that this is the chosen place. You have to offer the blessing on Mount Gerizim and to visit the mountain 3 times a year.
This mountain is so entwined in their beliefs that it is no surprise many Samaritans have settled here.
Behind me is the new Samaritan neighborhood, Kiryat Luza, that started to be populated in the late 80s.
With the backdrop of the Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation in the
Intifada.
1980s, many Samaritans decided to move to the relative safety of their holy mountain. By 1998, all the Samaritans of Nablus had relocated here to Kiryat Luza. The village is home to almost half of the remaining Samaritan population. The others live about 50 kilometers southwest of here.
I wonder how much they infiltrated their culture, language, and religion. How much the Zionists infiltrated them. We shall see.
Within hours of my arrival in town, I was summoned to meet one of the community's most important figures.
Abdullah Cohen, which means priest, high priest of the Israelite Samaritans.
I am the high priest of the Samaritan. We are the oldest people in the world.
I think he might be speaking Aramaic unless these people know ancient Hebrew, not the Yiddish Israeli Hebrew, like the real Hebrew. but it might be Aramaic. I don't speak either one.
all the world. وظيفتي زي البابا فاتيكان على كل العالم، وانا وظيفتي كاني راعيهم او ابوهم لكل العالم.
He's like their pope.
لذلك انا بتمنى الخير لكل العالم.
He wants goodness for all the world.
Are there ever any difficulties with the Samaritans? You're right in the middle of this really complex space and you have to live amongst Israelis and Palestinians. And certainly from the outside, it seems like it's very hard to see how a solution might be found between Israelis and Palestinians. Is there a way that Samaritans can help with that?
احنا بنساعد ونعمل زيارات للمسؤولين الاسرائيليين والعرب.
They visit both Israelis and Palestinians,
ونحكي كل شيء منيح لاجل السلام.
and they want peace.
نهديهم ولازم نعمل سلام.
We need peace in the Holy Land.
لأن هذه الأراضي هي مقدسة، لازم يكون فيها سلام.
Has to have peace. He's speaking in Arabic, but when he was praying, he was not praying in Arabic.
We want to be the bridge of peace between Palestinians and Israelis. We took that policy of walking between the political raindrops. Let's say that we became the most political entity in the world because we have to calculate our step every day, how to live in peace with the two entities.
Despite their peaceful political position, avoiding the conflict completely in this volatile region is near impossible for the Samaritans. They are unique in that they're the only people allowed to carry two forms of ID, both Israeli and Palestinian.
Taking health from him?
But that can be tricky, as Abud Cohen once found out.
We're here in a part of the world that a lot of people think is very dangerous, and they associate it with conflict and with real-life gun battles. Did you ever find that in your own life you've had encounters like that?
Well, I can tell you that the first time someone pointed a gun at me, I was coming, for example, from a driving lesson one time, and there's basically two ways to come back home. Mm-hmm. One is Israeli only, and
Abud Cohen. I don't know why they're filming him while he's playing a game, but let's proceed.
Mm-hmm. One is Israeli only, and one is a Palestinian only road.
Palestinian only road, apartheid. So for those that don't know, it's not an apartheid, it is.
So anyway, I just called my father and I told him if he can pick me up, basically, from the Israeli only road. Anyway, I go out of the car, it was really dark, and suddenly I saw two soldiers running at me. And one of them was screaming like there's no tomorrow. He came up really close to me, pointing the gun at me and shouting. Wow. And it was a really scary moment, especially because you feel like your life is basically in his hands, right? Mm-hmm. So I told him, relax, I'm a Samaritan. He asked for my IDs. I pulled out the IDs and I only had the Palestinian one. Mm-hmm. Apparently I forgot the Israeli one at home. And so it just like, I thought I was in trouble a little bit because, you know, how can I convince him I'm allowed to be here? Yeah. And then I remembered my name.
How can he convince him that he's allowed to be here? This is a Samaritan, dates back thousands of years, talking to an occupier, a settler, an ITF soldier that came. His ancestors are from Europe, or maybe Ethiopia, or who knows where these people come from. Try to ask this indigenous person for papers. It's kind of like when ICE is stopping Native Americans in the US and telling them to prove that they're American. Wow. Yeah, those things happen, guys. People have a short-term memory. They don't remember what happened in the past and who they are. They believe they came from this land. Yeah, okay. A DNA test will prove that.
You know, it's in the ID. It's Abdullah Cohen. My friends call me Aboud, but my name is Abdullah, and Abdullah is a really Arabic name. It's a really weird name, but you know, Cohen is a Jewish family, and he was more willing to listen.
More willing to listen, because it's like, oh, your last name is Jewish. Maybe you are Jewish, but Abdullah, no, Hamas. All that Abdullah means, it means a servant of God. That's all that. Abdullah, servant of God, which is what all of us should be. Servants of God.
Yeah, he warned me never to do that again, which I didn't, but that's the story.
That's a terrifying thing to happen to you, even if you think you can
feel
convince
like
them.
your whole life is like in the trigger, you know? It's not a comfortable feeling.
That's a poetic way of putting it.
I stayed with Aboud as he prepared for the weekly Sabbath, or Shabbat.
Can you tell me about Shabbat?
First of all, you're not allowed to work. You're not allowed to study. Suddenly I feel 3,000 years old. It's kind of like going back in time a little bit. You're not allowed to use any car because fire is forbidden and we don't use any kind of electricity. Shabbat is personally my favorite day of the week.
Real Jews. Torah, not Talmud.
Because who doesn't like free vacation, right? And it's a good day to be lazy, you know, maybe. To be lazy a little bit.
rest.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of Shabbat, so I'm going to stop asking Aboud questions and let him get on with his rest. But I'm also going to sneak in the back and see if I can observe.
The Sabbath is the holiest day of the week here and lasts from sunset Friday till sunset Saturday. Looking on as these Samaritans worship in the same clothing they have worn since ancient times, I really do feel transported back in time.
You don't see them rocking, because the rocking is Talmudic. They're praying. Look at what they're wearing. When they walked in, they did something like this. I don't know much about their traditions, but very interesting.
These prayers mark the beginning of Sabbath. The men will return in the middle of the night for the next prayers, again at midday, and finally at sundown Saturday for the closing prayers.
You see how they look. They don't look like the Israelis. They look like us.
The most challenging thing is getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning to the prayer. When you wake up, the first second you're like, oh, I'm just so tired. I must like sleep maybe 10 more minutes so I feel better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you think if you slept, there's nothing that's gonna wake you up. Because there's no wash, there's no snooze. You know what I mean?
Wow. Interesting, man. So that would be hard. That would be hard.
I mean, I told myself.
You see this language, man? It's not Israeli, Yiddish, Hebrew. Look at that. That might be ancient Hebrew, guys. These people might speak the original Hebrew. But you saw, only for prayer, not for daily dialogue, which is how ancient Hebrew was used. Only for prayer, not for daily conversation. So it might be ancient Hebrew. Very interesting. It's crazy that I come from there. I never encountered these people. Wow. Insane, man.
Hey, my grandfather woke up and he's 82 years old. He went with all this rain and all this cold. Come on, man, I have to do it too.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
I guess you've just finished Shabbat. We've now got electricity and lights and beer. How do you feel? Do you feel refreshed, or how would you describe your feeling?
Well, I have to say something, Leon. I mean, in Shabbat, you do get to a point where I wonder what's happening in the world. You know what I mean? Each Saturday, we're disconnected from the whole world. So you're not expecting any kind of calls, any kind of emails or text messages. So you kind of have a kind of calm state of mind, if I have to say it. And this is a really good thing. This is a really good thing. I mean, even biologically speaking, your body, your eyes are relaxed a little bit. You know, you don't have to focus on any screens, and it's. I have to say, it's. If I wasn't a Samaritan, I would keep Shabbat.
You're selling the idea to me pretty well at this point. I'm tempted.
It's a time to rest, reflect, and disconnect from the earthly world and connect to the spiritual world.
The religious life of a woman in this community comes with its own complications. The Samaritans insist on observing the words of their scriptures to the letter, and the commandments concerning menstruation and purity are still strictly observed. Sharok is a 22-year-old Samaritan woman. She explains how, during their periods, women are kept separate from the rest of the community.
Shuruk. Sunrise, that's her name in Arabic.
There are some people that you cannot speak with in this time.
No,
obviously.
I can speak, but I can't touch them.
You can't touch them.
And I can't touch the rest of house, just my things. We have a room for period. We just enter it when we have a period. We relax, we rest in these 7 days, we go away. So we do a lot of things in these 7 days. But maybe for married women, this will be a little bit difficult because they have children.
Guys, these are the Palestinian Jews that were in the land before 1948, that lived in peace with Palestinian Muslims and Christians. Real Jews from the land, indigenous, dates back to the tribes.
A bigger difficulty faced by the women is that they are by far the minority here.
We don't enough women to marry all men.
So in the community there is a lot more men than women.
Yes, for each girl, 3 men.
Oh really? Wow. So that is quite a big difference.
That's a problem. You want more women so you can reproduce, but there are more men.
So you have a lot of choice of people to marry.
Yes.
There are fewer than 20 young men and women of Aboud's age here in Kiryat Luza, which means that finding a partner and settling down is far from straightforward.
It's a really, really huge topic, marriage. We bring it out each weekend, you know, on Shabbat. You discuss those few stories that have been going out between him and her, you know.
How many of your friends of your sort of age have found someone already?
My age, no one. It's a really important thing, especially if you're a Samaritan. You want to know, are you going to marry a Samaritan or are you going to go outside? And if you were going to go outside, this is going to be a totally different route. You know, you don't want to fall in love with a female from outside and in the end, hey, I'm a Samaritan. You have to become a Samaritan to marry me. Watch this, watch this. Whoop.
That must be very hard, man. Yeah.
There is an urgent need for more women here. With only 4 main families making up the population, there's been an inevitable narrowing of the gene pool. Potential parents now routinely undergo genetic screening to ensure the health of their offspring. But this step alone is not enough to guarantee the long-term survival of the Samaritans. So now, Samaritan men have been allowed, for the first time, to marry outside the community using the internet and specialised dating agencies to find wives who are willing to join them here. Alla is one such woman, playing her vital part in the Samaritans' answer to their dwindling numbers and gene pool.
דם של השמרנים ודם של האוקראינה זה...
When Samaritan blood mixes with Ukrainian. Yeah, I don't think that's the right way to go because there's a lot of Ashkenazi Jews in Ukraine, hence Zelensky. So they imported the wrong Jews.
זה עושה... crazy, crazy, crazy.
How different has life been here from life before in Ukraine?
شو أقول لك في هناك حياة حلوة هناك بس مشكلة إنه ما فيش شغل منيح ما فيش يعني ما بتقدر واحد بتعيش زي ما بده يعني تعمل حياة إنه
Speaking Arabic, but she has a kind of an Israeli accent to it. That's just, I don't know what to make out of this. I'm watching this for the first time, so I don't know. This is interesting.
في مشكلة بالشغل فيش مصاري كتير من شان بتفقوش يعني بجوز بالشهرية بتدفقوا $100 بس صعب تعمل يعني حياة هيك.
In 2010, Alla married Uzi, a Samaritan, and moved to Kiryat Luza. Not only did she have to adapt to a Samaritan culture and religious practices, but she also had to learn the two languages used here, Arabic and Hebrew.
I see. So he brought a Ukrainian. I'm not sure what her religion was. And she converted to become a Samaritan. And she learned Arabic and Hebrew. So maybe that's why her Arabic sounds like Israeli Hebrew. Wow, that's a lot for somebody who's from Ukraine.
Tell me about your husband. How did you meet?
هو بعمل دרך משרד, היה רוצה להתחתן עם בחורה.
Now she's speaking in Israeli Hebrew.
אז ראה אולי 20 בחורה ולא מצא, כאילו בלב שלו לא נכנס אף בחורה. פתאום חברה
She's talking about how they met.
שלי היא הייתה עובדת במשרד הזה, והיא אמרה, בשבילו יש לי חברה, בואי אני אקרא אותה, וזה נראה לי שהיא 100% משהו צריך בשבילך.
What did you think when you first met him?
כאילו, לא זוכרת הכל, אבל אני זוכרת שהיה בן אדם יושב וכל הזמן הוא ככה מצחיק, כל הזמן צוחק, ולא יודעת, היה נוח על ידו.
Did he come to visit or was this on the internet?
לא, הוא בא לאוקראינה. הוא בא, היה שבועיים באוקראינה.
And how long did it take for you to decide to come here?
יומיים.
Wow. He met her in Ukraine and in 2 days she decided to move. That's pretty quick.
2 days? Wow, that's quick. Before you met Uzi, had you ever heard of the Samaritans?
אני לא ידעתי בכלל מי זה שמרנים, על הדת שלהם. אמרו לי מההתחלה ככה משהו קטן, שהם שומרים שבת ככה, אבל לא יותר.
So they told her that they keep the Sabbath. So maybe she's an Ashkenazi Jew. Interesting.
ידעתי איפה הם גרים ואיזה אנשים עד שבאתי לבוא.
Were your family and friends worried for your safety coming here?
אני מפחדת, שלפעמים זה מפחיד, נכון, ויש לי ילדים גם, זה מפחיד, אבל מה לעשות, זה חיים, אף אחד לא מכיר איפה יקרה לו.
She's scared when she moved there, but she has kids, she's worried, but that's life. You never know what happens to anybody.
And do you feel that living here on the mountain is quite a safe place to be?
בו מקום, כאילו אני גם בעלי כל הזמן אומר לי שמקום הזה אלוהים כל הזמן שומר על הזה, אז בגלל זה אנחנו בו.
Her husband told her God always will protect his people. That's why we're here.
While the prospect of moving to such a potentially frightening place and living a completely different life may be daunting, Allah is not alone.
עכשיו כאילו יש נראה לי אולי 8 בחורות אנחנו בו, אני חושבת כן, ובדרך כבר יש עוד בחורה בעזרת השם, ואנחנו מרגישים שכאילו כן, יש לנו עכשיו כל יום שבת אנחנו כולם ביחד, בנות של אוקראינה, אנחנו יושבים, יש הרגשה כאילו זה יפה מאוד.
They're bringing more Ukrainian women. So the blood is getting mixed. You understand what's happening? Diluted. They want to reproduce, I understand, so they're importing women. But they're no longer of that ethnic Jewishness, the real Judean, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. That's up to them.
One hand. That was a really lovely morning to spend with Allah and her kids. And I think there could probably be an impression from the outside that there are these men on top of a mountain who are going on the internet and finding brides from the Ukraine and bringing it over, and that it could somehow be seedy or not completely above board. But certainly for them, there's a real sense of family there. And my impression is that Allah and Uzi and their family really debunk that.
It seems to me that the Samaritans are a strong, well-organised community here, successful keepers of their ancient religion and culture, for the meantime at least. But I still wonder what the future holds for the Samaritans, especially the younger members like Aboud.
As Samaritan, you know first of all that you're not gonna go live outside. So the chances are, what I'm getting here is that I'm probably gonna marry a little bit early. So we're talking about maybe 26 even, 25. So personally, I found one.
You found one?
Yes, she's a Samaritan, and we are really in a great relationship, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're
That's really exciting.
3 years already.
And where does she live?
She in this neighborhood.
In this neighborhood?
Yes.
Wow. You're a dark horse, Aboud. You keep things quiet.
I have to plan, man. As a Samaritan, you have to plan. It's a competition, survival of the fittest.
Competition to find the right woman. Wow, man. Yeah. A group of people that most people don't talk about. A minority group in Palestine. Well, let me know what you think in the comments. But that importing of Ukrainian women, I don't think that's the right move, because you're changing the lineage. Maybe ideology, DNA. Ukrainians are white. And they're Ashkenazis, Khazarian. Who knows, man? But hey, it's up to them. Until next time, Christ is King, and always free Palestine.